morning, ladies and gentlemen. It is Undead 12335. I'm going to be doing a bit of a different video today. I'm going to be reviewing the newly released album, What the Dead Men Say, by my all-time favorite band, Trivium. They quickly became my all-time favorite band whenever I had the opportunity to see them back in 2018 with a friend of mine. Me and a friend of mine from work, we went and saw it. That was one of the best nights I've ever had. Amazingly good concert, and she had never been to a metal show, and she's like, hey, I just want to get away for the day. I'm like, hey, why not? I mean, I'll take you. And it was so much fun. Got to see them along with Light the Torch and Avatar. Light the Torch is, those of you guys have never heard of them, it is basically Howard Jones from, he's the other singer, and was the longtime singer for Killswitch Engage. And they're another band that got me into metal, especially metalcore. Avatar is basically a death metal / groove metal band that is just beyond amazing. And the lead singer, Johannes, is actually, had the opportunity to meet him for a moment as well. Really, really funny guy. And if you want something funny to know too, he actually told me this. I asked how they actually get their hair to stay looking wet the entire time. They use olive oil. Musicians, if you see them on stage, like a lot of the Slipknot guys do that. They come out there and they listen. They've been sweating for just days. Their hair looks just super wet. It's olive oil because it's easy to wash out, and olive oil is actually good for your hair. I didn't realize that. That's how they keep their hair looking luscious. But yeah, as weird as that is. But we're gonna get into this album. What the Dead Men Say. This album is literally a culmination of everything that they have done since the early 2000s. This is their magnum opus, in my opinion. Is it my favorite album by them? No. My favorite album by them is still... It's a hard tie between Ascendancy and Shogun. Shogun is their most diverse era that they've ever done because it's literally everything. It is an album about Japanese mythology and samurais and stuff like that, and Greek mythology and gods and just heroes and stuff like that. It's crazy. This album, I don't know the exact thing behind it, but it's just so good. We're gonna get into these tracks. The opening track is an instrumental piece similar to Capsizing the Sea or Snowfall from their album Silence in the Snow. Very cool little track, and then it rips into the second track on this album, What the Dead Men Say. Amazingly good single to get you pumped for this album. Whenever I listen to these songs, kind of in a scattered order on YouTube because that's when they were releasing them, but I went and listened to it in full all the way through, and I was just like, okay, here it comes, and then it just hits you, and I was like, oh, this is so good. It's so good. Very diverse way of doing vocal tracks on this particular album, and especially on this particular track. Very, very good. Not my favorite, but an amazing song nonetheless. Next is the Catastrophist. I actually got a friend of mine into this song heavily. She now has a Trivium playlist, which I thought was pretty cool because of this song. The music video is pretty cool too. I don't know why, it reminded me of the Bird Box meets something else. And what's funny is I've never seen the Bird Box, but I know what it's about. Just shows how pop culture works. But really, really cool track, and it's actually a pretty diverse way of showing off his vocals. I like it a lot. Amongst the Shadows and the Stones, one of the heaviest tracks on this album. It's not the heaviest. There's another one coming up that is. This song sort of sealed the deal on this album for me whenever I first heard it when they released it as a single a few days ago. It hits you in the face. It's hard to describe. The opening lines are literally bloody corpses, broken bones reveal. I'm like, about to get into some death metal type stuff, and then when you finally hear the whole song, you're like, holy crap! It's brutal. It's a very brutal song, but it has its softer side as well, and it's a great addition to this album, and one that I will be listening to over and over and over again. Next is one of my favorites off of this is Bleed Into Me. That bass line at the beginning is literally like something off of an OTEP or a Ginger album. And for those of you who don't know who either of those people are, Look them up. They're two of the best female vocalists for any metal band, especially Ginger. She's hot and she can scream like a demon. So it's the best of both worlds, and she's hot. So how could you not like that? Amazingly good track, soft vocals yet aggressive at times as well. One of their better tracks on this particular record. This next song is called The Defiant. It is literally the Deceived 2.0. I hate that song, The Deceived. It is overplayed. It is overrated. Even for Trivium, it is extremely overrated. I hate that song. It's up there for me with The Rising and Anthem, We Are the Fire. I cannot stand those songs. Another song by them I actually cannot stand is Down from the Sky. It's up there with that as well. I hate that song, even though that's off one of my favorite albums with them. Cannot stand it, and this song is the weakest one on the entire record. I cannot stand this song. Does that detract from it being a good song, though? Not at all. It's actually a pretty good song, but I personally can't stand it because it reminds me of The Deceived. My favorite track off this album is Sickness Unto You. This song is like 6.5 minutes. It sounds like, from the way the lyrics are describing it, it's him finally giving up and just passing something along to his enemy or his aggressor or whatever it is. Amazingly good song. So good. And people are already calling this the best track off this record. I agree. It's amazingly good. It's very, very good. My only thing is, it wasn't about 6 minutes longer. I could literally listen to this song all day, and I listened to this song probably 15 times yesterday. It's a very, very good song. The best on the album, in my opinion. Next is the softest song, if you could call it that, in my opinion, on the album. And it's also the saddest song that they've ever written. It is Scattering the Ashes. It is literally about a relationship torn apart, or as they would say, torn asunder, which is another one of my favorites by them, Drown and Torn Asunder. If you actually listen to Trivium stuff, they have some pretty off-the-wall song titles, and their song titles always sound so brutal, but if you listen to them, they're like, it's actually pretty good. It's nice. This is the softest one on the album. Very sad song, musically and vocally. This is some of his best work he's ever done. You can literally tell that he's gotten better with age. He did Descendant Descendants. He had 2 children. He's had all that time to sort of get himself back together and just sort of let his vocals relax and stuff like that, and actually come back into it. This is some of his best work he's ever done. And for a guy, I mean, he's been screaming since he was 14, and he slowly started doing soft vocals back in 2014, and he had got a proper vocal coach, and you can tell that it's working, and it has worked. Amazingly good stuff, and he practices every day. He pretty much is on Twitch about once a day, if not every other day, and he sings and practices and keeps his voice where it's supposed to be, and it really shows on this particular song on the album. Next is the heaviest song on this album, Bending the Arc to Fear. Whew. This song at times literally sounds like Pillar of Serpents mixed with Kirisuke Gomen. It's trippy with this song. The riff in there literally sounds like Kirisuke Gomen, if I'm pronouncing it correctly yet again, 2.0. This, and that's not a bad thing that I'm calling this basically a 2.0 upgraded version of an old song, because it's some of their best songs. This song hits you in the face, and it does not stop until you are literally gasping for air on the ground. It's extremely aggressive song. And Bending the Arc to Fear as well. It's just a cool title. It's an amazingly good song. And the final song is The Ones We Leave Behind. Really good way to close off the album. Kind of a good mix of soft and aggressive vocals as well. Great album closer. Not really much I can say about it because I've only listened to that one. I listened to the whole album 7 times. I've only listened to this song 7 times, and I don't think I will listen to it again as much anytime soon. It's one of the weaker ones as well. This album for me is easily a 9 out of 10. Recommended. listen to it. It's free on YouTube. It's on Spotify. I didn't even know it released, in all honesty. I forgot about it because I've been busy with work and stuff lately. They dropped it on YouTube, and I was scrolling through on my homepage, and I saw it, and I'm like, The Defiant, that's new. Holy crap, the album released! And I listened to it. Great way to close off one of the best albums of the year I've heard so far. Also, there are a few songs in here as well, and I want to say this. You can hear their influences in this. This album is a mix, of everything. Soilwork, In Flame. One of the songs, it literally sounds like an In Flames song, just the way that they do it. One of the songs, literally, you can hear the Iron Maiden influences and stuff like that, because Matt is a big fan of thrash metal. Trivium was originally thrash metal. You could hear it in one of their... The song The Rising is literally a Metallica song. It's literally ripped straight from a Metallica album, just with a Trivium title and lyrics. That's exactly what it is. You can hear the influences of their influencer bands and just previous stuff like that in this particular album. So beyond good. It's the best album I've heard this year so far. I will say that I wish it had a couple more tracks on it. I'm really, really getting sick of albums only having 9 and 10 tracks. It's really, really, really doing a disservice to the people that want to hear more music. And I know good and well you guys have some more setting aside. I remember I was in one of his Twitch streams a while back, and he said, yeah, I said, are you guys working on a new album yet? I know one's coming, but when's it going to be coming out? He said, well, Trivium, we're always working on something. A month later, they announced the album. I really would like to see even more of the stuff that you've done on here. Also, one of their songs on here, he used the riff from the song that Matt actually did for Shroud. If you don't know who that is, he's one of the biggest guys in gaming. The dude is an insane player, has some of the best aim in gaming history. He made a song for him called Shroud of Chaos, and basically one of the songs in here uses the riff for that, and I believe it was actually What the Dead Men Say. Really, really cool to see that riff was not forgotten. So, I keep gushing about it. Just listen to the freaking album. It's that good. And let me know in the comments below what you guys think. I hope that you actually enjoy it and just appreciate it, because these guys poured their heart and soul into this. You can literally hear the emotion in his voice in Sickness Unto You and Scattering the Ashes. It's so, so good. And I hope you guys appreciate it as much as I did. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. And leave me a like rating. It actually does help me out a lot. It lets me know that I'm doing something right and not just sucking at YouTube. Anyways, guys, thanks for everything. Stay safe. And as always, I will be seeing you guys later.